And you all right?
Yeah, not bad at all. So obviously, start on a new EP. Okay,
Yeah.
so I hope you're pleased with that, are you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, very pleased.
Yeah. So how was the recording process? I mean, were you all in the studio together, or was it one at a time, or how did that work?
Well, we were quite lucky actually because we recorded the EP before lockdown happened.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So we were very lucky with that. So we recorded it and then we were starting to think about how to release and all that, and then the whole lockdown thing suddenly happened.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shit, I must say. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was good. It gave us something to do during lockdown. It meant that we could still be productive.
Well, I know you've been very productive during lockdown, obviously with the bedroom sessions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, it's quite an eclectic mix of sort of songs you've covered as well. I mean, you like some
Yeah,
Natalie Imbruglia, sort of
yeah,
set, Leonard Cohen and all sorts. So yeah, it's
yeah, man. Yeah,
interesting stuff.
I actually really enjoyed doing that Natalie and Imbruglia one. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
John said, "Oh, how about he requested it?" I was like, "Go on then," and I learned it. I was like, "This is actually really fun to play." Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of the stuff was by request. Yeah.
Some of it, a lot of it was stuff I already knew because when
Mm.
I was traveling in New Zealand, that's how I was making money, just busking.
Okay.
So I already knew tons of songs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Cool. Any requests you got that you didn't want to play or didn't want to learn?
I don't think so, actually. I think most of our listeners have got pretty good taste in music, so I was in safe hands.
That's fortunate then. That's fortunate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Nobody chucked in the birdie song or anything then.
No, 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 thank God.
So, what sort of what's your? I mean, given all the songs you covered in the bedroom sessions, what's sort of your favourite type of genre to cover that's not your normal sort of area?
Yeah, kind of pretty much everything I was doing, really. I mean, like I love doing stuff like Janis Joplin, Bill
Okay.
Withers. You know, when I get to do like the real soulful stuff,
Yeah.
anything where I get to wail
Well, I suppose
and
that fits pretty well with your voice. So yeah, because I mean, yeah,
yeah.
you've got a lot of soul coming out there. That's for sure.
Ah,
So
thank you, man.
yeah,
Cheers, dude. Mm. Mm.
obviously the lockdown has really scuppered a lot of things. So obviously,
Yes.
the one thing is obviously live gigs have been somewhat out the window. But I noticed you did a solo gig at Poker Loco the other week.
I did, yeah, yeah. It was really good,
Yeah,
actually. Yeah, it was all right. I mean, obviously they got it all set up, adhering to the new rules. Like they
yeah,
had tables of six, and they'd put screens up between tables and stuff. So yeah,
okay.
it was all safe, and everyone had a good time. And it was nice just to actually be playing out and being able to see my audience
Yeah, yeah,
because that's something I've been deprived of for months. Like when you're doing all the live streams and you finish a song and it's just silence,
yeah, yeah.
you don't realize how much you miss a round of applause.
Yeah, yeah, so many artists that you can see they feed off the audience.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and certainly sort of noticed that sort of Leo's in the recent gigs. A lot of
yeah.
those bands are so pleased to have a live audience.
Oh, mate,
Um,
yeah.
and obviously, you're up there in a couple of weeks' time, I believe.
Next week, yeah, on Saturday the 3rd of October and also the 4th of October, doing
Yeah,
2 days in a row
yeah,
for our EP launch.
yeah. You're doing a matinee performance on Monday, aren't you?
That's it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I'm not there for the matinee, but I'm there for the evening. So yeah,
Ah, awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
man. I think it's going to be
So
slightly earlier than planned now, I reckon, because of the rules.
yeah, because I've got to kick you out kick us everybody out at 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously, I notice you're up Leo's quite a lot anyway
Hmm.
because you're fairly local to there.
Yeah, I'm Rochester,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
I
so
grew up.
that's okay. That's a bit
Yeah,
further afield than yeah.
yeah. I mean, I grew up in Vigo Village, so back then my
Okay.
nearest town was Gravesend.
Yeah.
In fact, I lived in Gravesend for a long time too, and I mean, I've been drinking down Leo's for a long time. I mean, that was literally where we went every weekend when we were younger.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like our little pub home.
Okay. Because I have heard you referred to Gallows Circus, affectionately referred to as the house band.
Yeah.
So if you're not playing there, you're there anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Even if we're not playing, we're there. Come and watch the other bands and get drunk with everyone.
Yeah. So I've seen you pulled up on stage a few times to sort of do some numbers, which
I know, even on my night off.
Yeah.
Even on my night off, can't get out of it.
I have noticed you don't need a lot of encouragement though.
No. As soon as I've had a few beers, that's it. I'm anyone's.
So obviously with the EP, obviously, how do you see that as progression from the first EP back in 2017?
Ooh. Well, it's been interesting because it's the first recording with our new guitar player, Ben.
Yeah.
And I think we've definitely progressed in terms of songwriting. I think it's heavier than the first EP. I know I'm certainly really pleased with my lyrics. I've been really working on songwriting skills and practicing a lot with that. And I think also the producer, Ian Sadler, really captured our sound, and he got a real nice meaty sound out of this one.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I mean, I've had it on repeat for the last couple of days. It's an excellent EP, I have to say. I haven't said that. I thought the first one was pretty good, actually. Anyway,
so yeah, I mean, without doubt, we're still super proud of the first one.
Yeah,
but I think with the first one, obviously, we wrote. I always think with when you're in a band and you first start, your first recording, it's kind of you guys getting to know each other musically. You know, because sometimes you just suddenly been put into a band together, and you don't know each other that well, and you're kind of like, oh, what we don't even know what style of music we're going for. We're just kind of jamming stuff and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
And I think once you're to the point where you really know each other, then that definitely shows in the music, for sure. I think.
Yeah,
well, at least with the songwriting process, definitely. Yeah. And like Ben, our guitar player, I was in a band with him previously for like 6 years, Tank Trap. So we're very used to working together.
Oh, I think that's interesting. Yeah, because I mean, from my perspective as a listener, I thought sort of progression on those is a bit more sophistication. As you say, probably a bit tighter, sort of together maybe, sort of
yeah.
But musically, it's still the same sort of bluesy sort of soul-driven sort of undercurrent anyway.
Yeah. I guess I never really thought about that because we only hear it from like a writer's point of view. It's interesting to hear how a listener perceives it, and here's the progression. That's really cool.
Okay. No, I mean, she should be very proud of the EP. I mean, it's getting a lot of good feedback, I have to say. I'm quite right.
Man, we are super proud.
So, what's next on the horizon? Any plans for an album?
Oh, good question. Well, I think since it doesn't look like there's going to be many gigs going on because of everything that's happening, we're thinking that we might as well just keep rehearsing and just focus on writing. So don't know if there'll be an album or another EP, but we're certainly going to focus a lot of time writing now, keeping our set tight too, and trying to improve on that. But yeah, if we've got nothing else to do, might as well just write some songs.
I suppose keep you off the streets, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it, and see what happens next year.
Obviously, there's no point asking about touring plans because there just aren't any at the moment.
Yeah. Where will you be playing next? Probably my bedroom.
Yeah. So obviously, you're going to carry on with the bedroom sessions as well, because obviously, I mean, we're up to about 17 of those so far, or something at least.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing it every week, and then I stopped that because obviously pubs were opening. I was back to work full time, and it was just hard to keep rehearsing for it. But currently I'm doing them once a month, roughly. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing that, I reckon.
Yeah.
as and whenever I can. I mean, if things get in the way, then maybe not. But I'm going to try and do them as often as possible. And I've got a few little ideas to make them more interesting, but
Yeah.
I won't say anything until I make it actually work because it could go terribly wrong.
Fair enough.
And
Yeah.
we all know what I'm like with technical difficulties.
Yeah. Well, you saw mine tonight as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the problem. If you're out of touch with certain things, it can cause a few problems.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
one question, strange question, I'm going to ask you now. What's your perfect Sunday?
My perfect Sunday. Um, Waking up without a hangover. That's always a good start when that happens. I feel like I've gained an extra part of my day. That's good. Um, and then usually doing something active like going out for a hike, or going rock climbing.
Okay.
Yeah. If I just get a bit of time to put my feet up
Okay.
and
What sort of rock climbing? Did you do the indoor rock climbing or the outdoor sort of?
yeah. I mean, I'm still kind of a beginner at that. So yeah, indoor bouldering. That's
Okay.
what I've been doing.
Well, at
Although
least
there was none of that during lockdown, but I need to get back into it.
okay. Well, it's at least a bit safe for the indoor stuff. You tend to have sort of the padded mats at the bottom if you fall off. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not too keen on heights, but I do it anyway.
Interesting. You're getting into rock climbing. You're not too keen on heights. So yeah.
I know. Well, I think it's good to do things at ski. It's
Yeah.
good for your character building and all that. Apparently.
Okay. I mean, obviously, sort of other things. Obviously, I know you seem to get on well with a lot of other bands. Obviously, which is why you
Mm.
end up being sort of dragged onto or dragged up on stage. So yeah. Sort of what bands do you really sort of sort of keep in touch with a lot?
Oh man. Talk to Out the Sun quite a lot.
Oh yeah, they're cool. I like them.
Yeah. So yeah, Kieran. Yeah, me and him are always having a little chat on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, like in our scene, like our scene, like, I think there's just such a great community, like with the bands all helping each other out and chatting to each other, and yeah, it's just a really nice vibe all round. Really, that's why I like going out and watching them and having drinks with them. Gorilla Riot, those lads are cool.
Oh yeah. Like their music as well.
Yeah, pretty much all the bands we've met have just been awesome people.
That's actually interesting. Except for brief on that, obviously, the one thing I've noticed, probably in the last 3 to 5 years, is the rock scene has just exploded. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
from being a few bands knocking around, suddenly there's just dozens and dozens, and it's not like there's dozens and dozens of also rans. There's so many good bands around. Is that what you're seeing? What you feel as well?
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, God, I mean, I know when we played Crazy Cowboy, and just like the quality of the bands
Mm.
there. I mean, there were so many bands that day, and it was a really good um, glimpse at our scene right now. And there's just so many great bands doing some awesome tunes. In fact, probably like the majority of bands I listen to on Spotify now, yeah, bands of our sort of scene,
Okay, yeah.
like
That was
new wave
probably
classic rock.
yeah, probably most of what I'm listening to is probably sort of things that
Mm,
were released in sort of the last 5 years,
yeah, yeah.
or, or not even as old as that. To be quite honest, a lot of it. Um, Obviously, from a band's point of view, that can actually pose a few problems as well, because obviously there's so many great bands on the scene. Obviously,
Hmm.
that means there's there's an audience that's hungry for good music.
Hmm.
Especially sort of seems to be an older generation as well, particularly. I know around about my age group, which isn't that old. Um,
Yeah.
we're really sort of like the sort of the music scene at the moment, but obviously that does create problems because obviously there's a record companies are only going to sign so many bands. Uh,
Yeah.
Obviously, only so many groups can be sort of headlining and that sort of thing. So how do you see that sort of competition? So, does that worry you, or does it, or
Uh,
just
Not
it
really.
just
Nah,
the flow?
nah. It doesn't really worry me. I think it's a good thing. I think like when you're surrounded. by other great musicians, it helps you to motivate yourself to get better. And I kind of think you could look at it like healthy competition. Kind of your mates. You want them to do well, but at the same time, you can sort of feed off each other and be like, oh god, those guys' new record's awesome. Right? Okay, we need to write something even better. Right? But in like the most positive way of thinking of that. I think it's good, and also because if everyone's playing good music, then that's going to help grow the scene. Like I've never been one to like think negatively of anything really. It's just like yeah, like these bands are doing well, and if one band does well and you're not getting the gigs they're getting, well, if they help make the scene bigger, then there's going to be more room for you later on.
Okay. I mean, personally, I only look at it on a positive, as you say, because there's so many good bands around. It's up in everybody's game. You can't be complacent. Where if you look back at the 70s and 80s, there's a lot of great albums, but they always had 2 or 3 filler tracks on it.
Yeah.
Now your album's being released, there's no room for filler.
Yeah.
If you start putting filler on, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
So possibly that's why quite a few bands like yourself are going down the EP route instead, because obviously you're thinking we can come up with 5 great tracks.
That's it.
To stretch it to 10, maybe we've got to come up with some not quite as good tracks. So maybe it's better to go for quality as opposed to quantity.
Oh yeah, I think there's lots of benefits to doing EPs. I mean, for one, to do a whole album, it's a lot of money. A lot of us little bands, we can't afford to pay for that kind of studio time. And also, like, I think because I have done albums before in previous bands, and I find when you do an album, you're trying to focus on so many songs, you don't necessarily give each song the attention it deserves, and all the songs can suffer because of it. Whereas if you've just got a handful of songs and you can really put everything and all your focus and attention just on those songs, then they're going to come out better. So like you say, quantity is not going to be as good as quality.
No, absolutely no. Yeah. So it certainly sort of definitely comes true with the latest EP.
Nice one.
Because it's 2 videos released so far, I believe, isn't it? Or 2 tracks released so far, isn't it?
Yeah, two videos and 2 tracks.
Yeah, Gallows Whiskey and what's the other one?
Medicine Man.
Medicine Man, yeah.
Yeah, man.
And they've gone down really well so far. Obviously, you got a lot of backing from people like the Rock Cooperative as well.
Yeah. All those guys are absolutely brilliant. We couldn't have done it without them.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a good bunch of guys, mate, and they're supporting some very good music as well. So it's cool. So obviously they're behind. Obviously what's going on at Leo's at the moment as well, aren't they? A lot of what's going on at Leo's.
Yeah,
they mustn't leave Terry out of the equation because he's doing stuff as well.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Terry's the man.
Because you threw me when you actually said you'd actually recorded it all before actually lockdown. I hadn't anticipated that.
Yeah.
Throw. I mean, yeah. So, I mean,
in fact, even the Hell's Whiskey video that was actually recorded before lockdown as well. So we were lucky with that.
Oh, Hell's that's the one where you come out of the box, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's quite a cool video, that one. So yeah.
Yeah. I was chuffed with that. That was cool. And then the Medicine Man one, like you can see that we're all in separate rooms. So that we adhered to the COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
yeah. We weren't even we was literally there on different days. Didn't even see each other's parts.
Oh God. Mm-hmm. That must be an interesting way of trying to do it. So
yeah. It made for an interesting video.
Yeah. So how are you gonna cope with sort of the latest lockdown? I mean, or are you used to it now?
Oh, I'm used to it. I mean, would you say it's a lockdown? I mean, just closing the pubs at 10? Or do you think there's going to be?
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
It is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I haven't really been going out to the pub that much anyway.
Okay.
because it's so weird, and because the reason I go to the pub is just to chat to random people. But if you can't
Yeah.
like leave your table to go and chat to people, I'm like, nah, I might as well see people around their house or just stay home and write some songs. But I think, I don't know, because I played at Poco Loco, and even they said they're probably still going to do gigs, but they're just going to start them earlier and finish at 10.
Yeah. Okay. It's reasonable. So it's
Yeah,
then you can sort of kicking off at 7 type of thing, or 7:30 or something.
yeah. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Weird.
Yeah.
A bit weird for a headline if you're starting at sort of that early in the day, but I suppose if that's the way it's got to be, that's the way it's got to be. So
That's it. Yeah. I mean, when we play down the red line, I think we're going to have to be finished by 9:30 at the latest, maybe earlier.
Yeah. Okay. I have to make sure I'm there on time then. So
yeah. I think it's going to be a pretty quick start.
I'm normally early anyway, so yeah. But
yeah.
So I mean, with the songwriting, obviously, you say you're writing songs. Do you come up with ideas and then you sort of talk to the other members of the band, and that you sort of swap ideas or throw your idea into the mix and see what they think?
I mean, yeah, sometimes all the songs happen differently. I think the most common way we write is usually our guitar player will turn up to rehearsal with some riff ideas, and then we'll just jam that and maybe put like a section on a loop, and then I'll improvise some nonsense lyrics over it, just nonsense words until I find a melody that I like, and then once I've got that, then I'll put some lyrics to the melody. But sometimes I might be writing at home, I might get a little guitar riff idea, or I might start with some lyrics, or sometimes it could be just an acoustic song with just a basic chord progression, and that could then turn into a rock song.
Yeah,
all different ways that we do it.
That's obviously why that's probably where the variety comes in. With obviously, your bedroom sessions, obviously, because you're covering a lot of genres. I suppose, the writing's going to therefore sort of reflect sort of something as well. It's going to be different writing styles. So yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Oh, well, I want to say thanks a lot for your time.
Nice one. Thank you. Cheers for having me.
I will see you up Leo's, and look forward to seeing you playing live. Because bizarrely, I don't think I've actually seen you guys actually play live. I've seen you sing a few times, but I've not actually seen the whole band play.
Oh, brilliant!
Which, considering how many times I've been up Leo's, is actually a surprise.
Yeah.
I just seem to manage to miss you all the time. So yeah, but I'm going to catch you this time. So
nice one. Let's hope nothing gets in the way.
No, cross fingers. Yeah,
and toes.
Yeah, so it's bad touch tomorrow night. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, I'm going to miss that. I'm going to be away.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I won't be there.
Ah, well.
But they'll put on a great show. They always do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for talking to me. Obviously,
no worries.
And obviously, I'll see you up Leo's.
Yeah, man. See you there.
Take it easy.
Enjoy the rest of your night. Take it easy, man.
You as well. Don't work too hard. Cheers for that, mate.
See you, mate. Bye.